Welcome back to 4Expedition Adventurer. In this episode, we'll be exploring the White Mountains of Arizona, the Black River, and the Blue Range Primitive Area. We'll take a look at the TackLife T6 portable jump starter. We'll field test the 1080 dash cam by Peztio. I'll introduce the Pivo camera assist with motorized swivel, and check out my new handcrafted light forest axe by Lamaca. The next edition of 4Expedition Travelers starts now. Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of 4Expedition Traveler. I'm Scott Leuthold. Today I'm coming to you from the White Mountains of Arizona, which is a beautiful mountain range on the eastern side of the state, just across the border from New Mexico. The mountain range offers the second tallest mountain in the state of Arizona, called Mount Baldy. I spent a lot of time hiking and backpacking and camping in that area. It's just a really, really beautiful area. I'm currently camping in the Apache Sitgreaves National Forest, just south of Hannagan, Meadow. Around me are some just extraordinary places to go and explore, including the Blue River Primitive Area, and just down the hill from me is the Black River, both of which offer amazing opportunities for angling. There's also some really incredible lakes around the area that I'm hoping to spend some time on. Otherwise, I plan on sharing some new products with you that I've come across that I think could improve your backcountry camping experience, and I'll be sharing some car camping basics with some of my new subscribers. If you'd like to support 4Expedition, I encourage you to go to patreon.com/4Expedition. We offer lots of great packages that include t-shirts and hats and other swag that I think you'll really like. Outside of filming these adventures, which of course I really love, it takes me about 40 hours to edit these episodes for this channel. It takes a lot of time and energy, and your support really matters. This should be a really great episode, and I'm looking forward to sharing it with you, so sit back and enjoy the ride. Dropping down to KP Cienega. This area's experienced some pretty significant burn over the years. What a nice little meal. Finally got settled down here, got everything all set up, got my dinner made, and just took a big sigh and didn't make a single noise. And I just realized how quiet it is out here. I passed a couple of campers about a half a mile back on this road. I imagine they're hunters because it is elk season. I did talk to one hunter that was scoping out a good hunting area. But as I was coming in here, I actually saw a really amazing herd of elk. And one of them had just a huge rack on its head. So most of them were cows, but we had one bull in that group that I was checking out. And man, that's a prize bull. Somebody wants to catch that. Not really opposed to hunting. I mean, I don't really hunt that much, but I'm certainly not opposed to hunting if you're hunting for food. I'm not really much of a fan of sport hunting. There's a lot of people out there that like to do that sort of thing. Not me. If I find a nice elk rack on the ground somewhere from an elk that died from the previous season, I would love to pick that up and put that on the front of my cottage someday. I was just thinking about the last time I rolled through here on this particular highway in the White Mountains. It's been a long time. I've spent some time in the White Mountains over the last couple of years in other areas, but this particular highway, it's been almost 25 years. It's a long time. I remember driving through from Alpine up to Hannagan Meadow, thinking to myself, wow, this just looks like some of the highways in Colorado. It was just so green, just beautiful ponderosa pine trees and very mountainous. It was just quite something. Driving up to Hannagan Meadow. Hannagan Meadow is this, for those of you that don't live in Arizona, it's a pretty well-known, nostalgic, old National Forest lodge. It's pretty cute. It's a red log lodge. You can rent cabins there. There's a motel, there's a restaurant, and a single gas pump. But if you rent a cabin there, across the highway from the lodge and the cabins is actually Hannagan Meadow, and you can sit on the front porch of your cabin in the evening and watch elk. I remember doing that one time, sneaking across the highway and crouching down in some of the underbrush trying to get as close to the elk as I could. It was pretty cool. But in 2011 there was a pretty significant fire that burned hundreds of thousands of acres of this area. So when I'm driving through now, there's a lot of the valleys and peaks are just bare. But that tends to be the case with forest fires. All the mountains around are pretty much burned off and a lot of dead trees. Such is life with forest fires. With forest fires comes rebirth. I guess that's pretty much the case with both nature and with humanity. Lord knows I've had forest fires in my life that have resulted in rebirth. Maybe you have too. I'd have to say that with the forest fires that I've had in my life, afterwards, the results, my life was always better for it. Boy, it sure was hell at the time, that's for sure. Maybe you can relate. Good morning, everyone. Had a good night's sleep last night. It's just amazing how quiet it is out here. Just not a peep. And of course, with the rooftop tent, closing all the windows and doors and everything off, it stays pretty dark in there in the morning, as I've mentioned before. There were a couple vehicles passing by around 5 o'clock this morning. I'm guessing it's probably hunters going out for the morning. But, otherwise, nothing. Nobody out here. There's some chipmunks, some birds. I haven't seen any other wildlife. Around 3 o'clock in the morning, I heard coyotes howling. That was pretty cool. A lot of beautiful wildflowers out right now. I'm going to take a nice walk straight, I think that's north, straight north, which eventually comes to a cliff that drops down to the Black River. So I'll probably take a nice little walk in that direction and see if I can see the Black River from the top of the ridge. So I wanted to show you this new axe that I got. My girlfriend Amy bought this for my birthday, which is next month, one of my birthday presents. But it's made by Lamaca and it's handmade. It's got a really great Scandinavian sheath on it here. Very, very sharp blade. The whole head's been forged, hand forged. The handle is really incredible. It's got just a beautifully designed handle, very ergonomic. And one of the things I love about it is that this area right here, you hold it right here, it's just so well balanced that I could literally chop wood with one hand with this thing. It's just really beautifully done. It's got a really nice design on the top as well. It's got some branding on the back, number 35, so it's been numbered, made just for me. If you're looking for an axe, this guy's pretty popular. He's got an Instagram page. Again, the product is called Lamaca, and be sure to check him out online. So as I mentioned before, I spend about 40 hours or more editing the videos for this channel, which takes a lot of time. I really enjoy doing it, but it does take a lot of time, and sometimes I'll work straight through the night and not even go to bed, which is really not that good for you. But I just get such a kick out of creating these videos, and I have such a passion for going out in the adventures, doing all the filming, kind of thinking up storyline and trying to create something of quality. And then when I spend the time editing, putting it all together and overlaying with some really cool graphics and so on. However, what I'm thinking is that I'm probably going to start doing a little bit more to improve the quality of the videos. I intend to get a iPhone 11, and I'm currently using an iPhone X. The new iPhone 11 allows you to do a lot more, and the cameras are much, much better. And as all of you know, I only film using an iPhone, which is really pretty incredible considering some of the footage and some of the beautiful scenery and so forth that I capture. But so far I've filmed this one a little bit differently than I usually do, and I'm sure you've noticed that for those of you who come to my channel often and watch these videos. And I'd really love it if you'd all share with me a little bit of feedback about the new content format that I'm working on. This video is the first of that type, and I'll probably continue to evolve it. But if you want to, down there, leave a comment, I'd really appreciate that. It would really help. You know, a lot of my subscribers ask me to share different kinds of content, and I've always been obliged to do that. I'm always out on my adventures creating the stories that I want to create and sharing the things that I want to create, and I know there's things oftentimes that spark your interest or you might have questions about. I encourage you to request those things, and oftentimes I'll incorporate those into my videos. So another product I wanted to show you is a new Pivo that I just got on Indiegogo. And a lot of times when I'm out here filming by myself, it's awfully difficult to get all the shots that I want to get easily. And so I was looking for a product that might allow me to set my phone up on a tripod and have my phone follow me around. And this here is definitely a solution for that. So I'm going to take a few minutes to show you how this works and what's included. So this is Pivo. Comes in this really nice case. When you open it up, it's got a lot of great accessories included. You've got a phone mount here, and you can also mount a GoPro to the top of the phone mount, and this mounts on a tripod. Then you've got the Pivo device, which basically has a clamp system here. You clamp your phone in there, you face it forward, you turn it on. When your phone is sitting inside here, this pivots back and around. It's got a lot of features on the app that allow you to set a lot of different parameters for facial recognition, for duplicate video, so you can capture a number of different types of shots of yourself. It's just a really great little product. It's rechargeable. It's got a USB charger. And then also included is a remote. This is pretty cool, and it's handy for when you want to be able to control where the camera is pointing. If you move around and you don't have facial recognition on, or you don't have the movement mode activated, you can control which direction the camera's facing and it'll swivel around. Also included is an additional mount here for mounting onto a tripod. And this just tightens up. It's very, very high quality, heavy duty material. Okay, so let's test this thing out. So I've got it on facial recognition, and it's got a little thunderstorm coming. It's got a little circle around my face, so it's recognized my face, and if I back up, it still has a circle, so it recognizes me. And as long as I keep my face looking at the camera, I can move all around and back and forth. And it stays pretty well. It's not perfect, but you know, what can you expect? This is an iPhone. It's not like I'm filming with professional video film camera equipment. But if I back way up, it starts to lose me. And I think a lot of that has to do with if my face leaves the camera or my hat looks down. But as I come in closer, it recognizes my face again, and it starts to move. So now we're going to try action tracking. And if I tap somewhere on the screen, it recognizes some kind of movement. I don't have to be looking at the screen anymore. And I can walk all the way around this tripod, and it will actually circle all the way around, which is pretty spectacular considering I do a lot of moving around around my campsites and so on, and it's just nice to be able to move about and not have to worry about where the camera's positioned and so forth. What's interesting too is that the Pivo actually has the capability of allowing you to be able to position yourself to one side, to the other side, or in the middle, all depending on how you want to film. So if I wanted to be able to display something on the screen over to this side, it'll always make sure that I have space on that side to be able to show that. Coming down now. Nature needed a drink of water. Some thunder and lightning. It's nice having an awning. It's one of the things about camping that totally sucks, is when it rains out and you don't have any kind of protection from the rain. And a lot of people like to put up tarps, things like that, which is great. That works as well. I've actually invented a really cool tarp system. It's a prototype I've got developed for 4Expedition that I'll eventually come out with. But in the meantime, I've got this rooftop tent, and I've got a really nice awning that allows me plenty of space here to move around, make dinner, sit and relax. I do have my firewood underneath the overhang here so that it stays dry, so later on if it does stop raining, I could still have a fire and not have to worry about having all the firewood be wet. Boy, she's coming down now. Last time I had it rain this hard, I had a little bit of a leak from this rooftop tent, so I got to keep an eye on that. It's coming down really hard. So far it's looking pretty good. Pretty much everybody that I've talked to that has an Ikamper Skycamp has said that they've been able to withstand tremendous storms without any leaking whatsoever. And last time I was camping in a hard storm, which I created a video before that was called Chasing Thunderstorms. That one I had a little bit of a leak, but so far so good. Just another really nice thing is being able to come up here in a rainstorm and having this very spacious area up here to be able to chill and relax and read books and do whatever, and then be able to climb down the ladder and go out and cook dinner and do everything without getting wet. Stay completely dry. It's a pretty sizable living space in adverse weather like this. It's really nice. Well, good morning, everyone. As I'm sure you can tell, it's still raining out. Actually just subsided just a little bit. It's been raining through the entire night. I had a really good night's sleep with the rain. Didn't even know it was light out until I opened the sunroof. It's so nice and dark in here. I think I'm going to pack up here and head down the mountain. I'm going to have to close up the rooftop tent with it soaking wet, that and the awning. So what I'm hoping to do is drop down out of the mountains, maybe go hang out by one of the lakes surrounding these mountains, and maybe set it back up as long as it's sunny, hopefully dry it out while I do a little paddle boarding or something like that. We'll see how it goes. It could be raining through the entire White Mountain area. I don't know. So the only way to find out is to head down there. I will say that I'm down a fairly dirty, muddy road. So it'll be interesting to see how I do getting out of here. I do have max tracks along, so if I get stuck, I'll be able to get myself back out. But it should be interesting. It's only maybe a half a mile of muddy dirt road back to a main graded gravel road, so we should be fine. So yesterday I messed up my ankle a little bit when I was out doing some filming. I was walking through a lot of rock and I stepped on a rock wrong and just totally twisted my ankle. And I have tendency to have difficulty with my ankles. I've had some problems in the past doing some backpacking and hurting my ankles and so forth. So what I do is I always bring along the Ace Bandage ankle wraps. They look like this. They're black with Velcro and 3 straps on them. You put them around your ankles, and they're really nice to have along. I have 2 of them along in case somebody twists an ankle. They're pretty easy to work with. Just slip your foot over the top here, and the top strap here wraps tight around the ankle. And then there's two wing straps here. Go one right over the top, wrap the other one over the other side, and that does a lot of good for your ankle when it's a little tender like mine. All right, so there you go. If you don't have any Ace bandages for your ankles and for your knees in your emergency kit for camping, I recommend you do keep a couple. You never know when you're going to need them. Oftentimes I'll go on a nice hike when I'm out camping, and if I sprain my ankle out on a hike, I have some of these with me. I can at least wrap these around my ankles. It helps an awful lot to get back to camp. You know, a lot of people really loathe taking down camp in the morning on days that they're leaving, but if you have a process, it actually makes it go pretty smoothly. I have a great process. When I open my eyes on mornings that I know I'm going to be leaving, the very first thing that I do while I'm still laying in bed is I open up the valve on my air mattress. I let my body weight drain all the air out of the air mattress. As soon as the air is completely out of the mattress, I get out of bed, I roll up my sleeping bag and put it away. I put my pillow in a bag, I put my air mattress in a bag, and then I start moving it all toward the door. And all my other gear that's up here, I move toward the door and organize it so that I don't have to get, once I get out of here, I don't have to come back into the tent, especially if I have muddy feet. I can just climb up the ladder and grab and reach everything that I need to put it away where it's supposed to go in the car. When I'm done up here, I actually go down into my kitchen, I'll make breakfast, I'll wash my face, brush my teeth, and as soon as I'm done with all of that, I take down the whole kitchen and put it away. And by the time it's all said and done, all I have to do is close up the rooftop tent, lock it down, and take off. And it makes it a pretty easy process when you work it into your morning. I recommend doing something like that. It definitely makes camping a much easier and more convenient process. All right. Perfect day for a full body rain suit. I bought this thing back when I did the Boundary Waters canoe trip for 7 days last summer. I'd sure tell you it's nice to have a full body rain suit on days like this. If you don't have a full body rain suit in your camp gear, bam, pack it up. You know what they say, rain or shine, the show must go on. Alright, so now I think it'd be a really good time to tell you about this TackLife T6 Automotive Jump Starter. TackLife contacted me and asked me if I would take a look at this product and take it out into the wilderness and give it a little bit of a go-round. And so I did that, and I've got a lot of interesting information to share about this product. Okay, so the TackLife T6 comes in this really nice foam molded container. When you open it up, it's got two different sides. It's broken down really nicely. On this side you've got the charger itself, and on this side you have all the accessories. Okay, so when you first take out the TackLife T6, you'll notice that it's in a really nice rubberized casing, which probably helps it to be water resistant, weather resistant, and probably drop resistant. What you'll first see on here is the power indicator. You turn that on, it shows the number of bars left. And then on the end, it's got a flashlight, actually an LED flashlight. Here's the switch to turn on the flashlight. It's got a couple of different settings. It's got a main light. It's got a couple warning lights. So on the side here, the first things that you'll see here is here's your engine jump starter port. You open that up and you stick the jump starter in there and connect that to your battery, and should take care of that. And then here's your 15 volt 1 amp input. This is for plugging in your car charger to charge this device in your car, or for the wall charger to plug this in when you're at home. This here is your 12 volt 1 amp output, and this is for charging other devices that you can plug in. Then you've got a USB port here to charge small devices like cell phones. I plugged my cell phone in here last night. As you can tell, it's been raining all weekend and I really haven't had solar power. I usually use solar power to charge a lot of my devices, even though I do have different kinds of chargers. And I use this to charge my cell phone. I did have a little trouble because the power source stayed on for a certain period of time and then would turn off, and then it would subsequently stop charging my cell phone. But I think that had to do with the cable that I was using. There might be something wrong with the cable that I have for my phone. And then here you've got a 12 volt 10 amp output for charging different kind of auto products. Okay, so I removed all the accessories from the side pouch of the TackLife case. Here are the jumper cables. Pretty short cables, but I would imagine it's just enough to do the trick. Here's a a 12 volt, 1 amp plug to plug your TackLife into your car to charge it up. Here's a USB port, and this one's actually got a plug on the end of it for a mini port for certain types of cell phones and devices like that. Here's a wall charger, and then here's an additional accessory to charge products that require the lighter plug. So overall, so far, I think I do like this product. It's very durable, it's got a lot of great accessories with it, it comes in a really nice case. It's very convenient for charging up certain devices as well as jump starting your car. I, of course, haven't had to use it to jump start my car, and hopefully I won't have to use it today to jump start my car. Nobody really wants to have to do that. However, I will say that I have in the past needed something like this and haven't had it with me. One time I took a little trip up into the desert outside of Scottsdale in the middle of the afternoon, decided to go out there and have just a picnic by myself, read some books, listen to some music. And I was using the radio for the music and didn't realize just how much battery life had been taken up. And I went to start my car to leave and it wouldn't start. I ended up having to walk about 1.5 miles to a road, had to wait for somebody to come by, and I couldn't just invite anybody to come out and help me because I was in a pretty rough area that required some high clearance. So the first couple of cars that came by couldn't even help me, and then I had to wait for, finally a guy came with a Jeep and came out and helped me out, and I had jumper cables, so he was able to help me jump. But if I would have had a device like this, I really wouldn't have had to worry too much. I could have jump started my car by myself, been out there, let the car engine run for a little bit, and taken off and been on my merry way. So I really feel like a device like this is probably very beneficial to have. I've got a number of friends that have devices like this, and for some reason I've just never decided to buy one, and really think this T6 by TackLife is going to do the trick. So we got out of there okay, only a couple of muddy spots, and had a little fun blowing through those. Back on Forest Road 25. It's probably about 115 miles down to Safford from here, and as you probably remember, I did a video on Mount Graham, and Safford is right below Mount Graham. So I'm about 115 miles north of Mount Graham right now. I'm going to go left. That'll take me to Hannagan Meadow, then Alpine, Springerville, and then back to Phoenix on the 260. So the White Mountains are known as a recovery area for the Mexican gray wolf that used to inhabit this area, and over the last 20 years or so, they've only seen a marginal success in reintroduction. Also known as the Lobo, the wolf was once native to southern Arizona, southern New Mexico, western Texas, and northern Mexico. The Mexican wolf is considered the most endangered gray wolf in North America. So between 1977 and 1980, 5 wolves were captured in Mexico. These were all that remained in the wild. They were then bred and released in recovery areas in both Arizona and New Mexico. If you'd like to learn more about the Mexican gray wolf, visit wildearthguardians.org. Alright, so now's probably a good time to tell you about my Peztio Dash Cam that I just got. A lot of times when I'm filming action, when I'm on the road, I'm holding onto a tripod and I've got my iPhone, and that's really not all that safe, of course. So I got this Peztio Dash Cam, and it suction cups to the window and shoots out the front, and it's actually got a rear camera as well that I have not rigged up yet, but you wire it to the back and it shoots out the back of your car. Pretty nice. It's got 1080 view, got a 4-inch LCD display, about 170-degree width angle. It's at a pretty reasonable price. I could use a GoPro, I'm sure, with a couple of GoPro mounts, but this is a device that I can keep in the car. It's got a G sensor so that it actually, if I start driving, it'll start filming. If I stop driving, it can stop filming. And it also has looping capabilities, which is interesting. So if you're in the city and you want to have it looping video every couple of minutes out the front and out the rear, when you're driving around the city and you get in an accident, it actually will obviously take care of determining who's at fault. I've got a 128 gig SD card in here, and I've been doing a lot of filming out the front of the vehicle. I'll probably only use the front cam. I probably really won't use the back cam for my adventures. But a lot of the video that you've seen of out the front of my vehicle has been using that dash cam. So I think it's pretty cool. It'll be interesting to see over time, and I'll definitely be giving another review of this product down the road. All right, everyone, so I came down out of the mountains and spent some time around some of the mountain lakes, but it was still raining pretty hard, so I wasn't able to do any stand-up paddleboarding. But with that rain comes beautiful wildflowers, and I'm really just astonished by, as far as the eye can see, yellow, purple, and red wildflowers. It's just a really beautiful time of the year to be up here. I'm currently located on the Apache Indian Reservation just north of the White Mountains, and there's just a beautiful area of rolling green grassy hills between the White Mountains and the Painted Desert, which is up on I-40. If you haven't subscribed to the 4Expedition channel, I encourage you to do that, and if you'd like to be notified of upcoming videos, please make sure you click the notify button. Until the next time, take care.